Not I should go.
We are like
Right. Hello and welcome to a very special show, Sachin at 50 for the Masters 50th birthday. If you follow Red Sports, I don't think we will be sounding pompous, but the best coverage of Sachin at 50 is on our platform. Whether it's in terms of written content, in collaboration with Simon & Schuster, which we've extracted from our book Sachin at 50, one of my contributors, Akshay Mukhopadhyay on the show with me, or in terms of video content, in terms of the documentary that we put out today in the Master's Own Voice, culled out from our interviews over the last 25 odd years, we can say that we've celebrated the Master in totality, as a cricketer, as a husband, as a father, and more importantly, as a cult in this country. So Sachin at 50, our special show. On the show with me, Akshay Mukhopadhyay, Shubhan Chakraborty, and once again, my very dear friend Priyanka Modi, one of the craziest Sachin fans that you will possibly come across, who last week drove me to madness, absolute madness, and I will tell you the reason as the show progresses. Akshay, you contributed to the book Sachin at 50, which thanks to his popularity and his fans, it's already sort of topping the charts in India. So we get some royalty, you won't, me, I will. But that's not the point. Sachin, you've covered him and you've also sort of stood behind him during his nets. Why don't you tell us a couple of stories? This is all about stories.
See, Sachin's batting and bowling, I have nothing new to say. I mean, everybody knows that, everybody has written about it. I'll tell you something which I remember even now. This was in 2009. India-Australia one-day match in Nagpur. And India were about to win the match. And those days matches used to get over at 11 o'clock. Now they are advanced by an hour. Those days matches used to get over at 11 o'clock. So as a reporter, my job was to find the copy as soon as possible. So from the office, there was clear instruction: 5 minutes when the match gets over, you have to send it. So I got very ready. Match was sort of predictable. It was about to get over. Then it finally got over. It was the last Australian batsman was run out. It was a throw from mid-wicket, not deep mid-wicket, but from mid-wicket. I didn't notice what happened. I just saw the run out happening. I just shot off my copy. Then I realized that that was a left-handed throw from mid-wicket. And who were the two left-handers in that side? Ravindra Jadeja, who was bowling that over. another Yuvraj Singh, who was fielding at point. Then I realized that the left-handed throw came from Tendulkar. A bullet throw from mid-wicket to the striker's end, and it was Tendulkar.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You want to add to an actress? Tell us a story which even I don't know. Come on.
tell you a story that even I don't know. Okay, it was my class 10 board exams, and everybody was on my head, teacher padu, study properly. I said, I will study, but I will watch. It was the 96 World Cup. In the middle of the 96 World Cup, I had my boards. And Sachin Tendulkar had come down for the opening ceremony, and I called him up, and I always managed to speak to him. And I told him that it's my board year, and yes, but all the best for the games. And if you don't win the World Cup, I'm going to be really mad at you. And he said, it is your board year, right? I said, yeah, it's my board year. I'm giving my class 10. And he said, if you don't score a 90, I will get very mad on you. So please study, just concentrate on the India matches, don't watch every match. And I said, yeah,
I mean, yes. Even when she was 7 months pregnant, she broke through Black Cat Commandos to meet Sachin. India versus Pakistan, and then when Sachin finally met her, so she said, what do you want to tell me?
We are 81 in the best-selling category.
Wow. By the way, we are 81 in the best, so across all the books. Wow. This is quite phenomenal.
This just came from our publisher.
This just came from our publisher. We are bestsellers ranked 81 in books across every book, not sport. So across all books.
Wow.
This is wow. My highest rank is number 9 with 11 gods. Number 9. And I'm not going into playing it my way. It was at number 1 for 72 weeks or something. That is such a good book. Yesterday it made the Limca Book of Records. Wow. 1,50,000 something copies pre-order, which is combined Walter Isaacson, Steve Jobs, and J.K. Rowling together.
Oh wow.
In terms of
Oh
print.
wow.
So yesterday it has officially made it to the. So and we know it is such a big.
But one question here, Bolia, to you. Any incident or story of Sachin Tendulkar which you wanted to but couldn't put it in your book? The first autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar.
If I say it, will come.
Any fun story which you wanted to but okay, you could.
You know, I actually wanted to put quite a lot more in. But I'll tell you what, one time I was pushing him. Me or Boli. So he never gets angry. Priyanka will attest to that, absolutely. No. So he just sort of turned at me and said, listen, I'm Bharat Ratna. If I write something and something happens to the person I write about, people can go and lynch that person on the road because I am writing. You understand what you're saying? So every word that I write, I have to think before I put it down. So please understand, don't push me. And I realized it's not my book, it is his book. So it's his call. So people say, I know this. I'm very aware people will say it's a politically correct autobiography. Be in his position and then understand that if you write one politically incorrect sentence, see what happens when you're Bharat Ratna at the end.
Absolutely.
And it is crazy. Being Sachin Tendulkar is crazy. London, central London. Sarah was in Oxford. She had come with me to London because we were recording for the book. So Sachin said, bring her with you because that's what we used to do. And on the way back, we are standing at the bus stop opposite Marylebone Road to take the bus back to Oxford. So Sachin tells me, I will walk you to the bus station. Don't. You are trouble. Don't. No. What will happen? I will walk you both to the bus station. So he puts his cap here, covers his forehead. So he puts his cap so none of us can see his face, and he starts walking like this. Nobody understood. So we go to the bus stop and we are standing, and he's turning like this to the. All of you have been to England or abroad, so you know those covered kind of bus stations. So he's turning towards the wall, and he's standing and chatting with us. All of a sudden, this is Marylebone Road. Just to give you an idea, opposite Madame Tussauds, just about 50 meters, central London. A Porsche comes to a screeching halt. Two Indians jump out of the car like this, jump, run to that bus stop and I say, Sachin! And I'm like,
Gaya.
within 10 seconds, there's a huge load of cars straight up to Madame Tussauds and beyond, central London. Sachin turns to me and says, Ab kya? I said, Bhalu! And Sarah is telling me, what was I supposed to do? I said, nothing. Let your father, and we don't even know. Let your father handle his problems. You and I are getting on the Oxford bus and off we go. Let him, Sachin in the middle of the road, running across the road to get to the other side because that's where his house is. There's a shortcut and these people are chasing him.
Wow.
Sachin,
Incredible.
we've had unbelievable experiences across the world.
And he's still so accommodating. I mean, this crazy popularity part reminds me of another incident that was in Australia, in Hobart actually, Hobart Airport. And I was covering that series, and I had approached him for an interview quite a few times. He said, no, I don't talk during a series. When a series is going on, I do not give interviews. Then I couldn't resist the urge to request him for a photograph with him. And he obliged. I told him thank you. And then he said, it's my pleasure. Now, Sachin is being hounded for photographs and autographs 1,000 times a day. For him to still be able to say that's my pleasure shows that there is something different with this guy. I mean, we have seen stars, we have seen celebrities, but this kind of humility and it's quite struck me quite a bit. That's it. Yeah.
So, your story before I go Priyanka again?
Okay, I'll take you to my school days, mid 2000s. There was I think it was Milo or Bournvita that used to give a mini signed Sachin Tendulkar bat along with it. Only very rare bats. And one of our classmates won that bat through that Bournvita or Milo thing. And he came into our classroom, was flaunting it that I have this bat. One guy who was a crazy, I am still in touch with him. What he did, he was so jealous, he took it and threw it from the third floor. He took the bat. He was so jealous that he threw it from the third floor balcony. And the
If
guy
that's your
started.
album, what would have happened?
Okay.
You would live. And you in jail.
And that guy automatically got furious, started crying, wanted to beat him. In turn, what he did, he got punched on his face. That guy who threw the bat and punched him on the face, he was suspended for 3 months. And I still don't know like how he survived that.
What happened to the
What happened to the bat?
Our friend Trisha, our producer Trisha, you know, she would go to her board exams. So doing pranam on Sachin's photo. So the question to ask is, why are you doing pranam for an academic exam? Sachin will not let me pass the academic exam. So Trisha would actually do pranam and then go for her board exam.
What did Sachin tell her? Very education.
That is what
Then we'll ask again when Trisha comes.
Yeah, Trisha will be on the show at 6:30 when after we'll take a bit of a break. We will ask Trisha, what did Sachin tell you when you told him this story?
But
What happened to the bat?
what happened to
What
the
happened to the
after the punch, after all the crying, all the punches thrown around, the bat safely landed in our garden area.
So he got
He got the bat, but he had a broken nose, bleedy nose, and everything. He was the other guy was suspended.
The bat is all
It was
right.
all the bat was all right. It was laying down in that school garden area. I still remember it was in Delhi only.
So when did you call him? Speak to him for his birthday or
I
anything?
just wished him, I wished him.
Yeah, I mean all of us did because this is his private time. That's why. Yeah.
But I loved his post today, like
Tea time.
tea time at 50.
Because I knew. I mean, he told me that he was going away for 4 days, and then sort of it was his time. He planned this. So I actually asked Anjali in our book.
Ah,
it's written. So I asked Anjali, what are you planning for his birthday? He said, we are not party people over here. It will be private, very, very private, with friends and family. That's.
And I guess that's what these world-class celebrities do. They live in so much of public eye that in personal moments they want to spend time with their family.
Just to come a little bit, Trisha was giving us book updates, Akshar. So here you go in Amazon at this point in time among bestsellers. Sachin at 50 is one, Playing It My Way.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Playing It My Way at the end of
And this is day one. This is just day one.
I had a
Yeah, it's number one. So among bestsellers, Sachin at 51, Playing It My Way. Another story, Akshar, first you. It's all stories.
To be very honest, I don't have too many
No, you
stories.
give us that
But,
when he was practicing. Tell us that story.
Yeah, see, this was. I have seen. I mean, having covered cricket for many years, I've seen players practice and train and having net practice and all that. And here was the Indian team was having net practice. This was I forgot where, maybe Ahmedabad or Hyderabad somewhere. And next to next to him, Rahul Dravid was batting. But what stood out was Sachin's complete concentration, complete intensity. I mean, when he was practicing, there was nothing else affected him. Once I was got a chance to stand just right behind the net, where a wicketkeeper would stand for a spin bowler, and I was taking pictures, and that makes a bit of noise. That makes a bit of noise. I thought it could disturb him. I was so close. He didn't even look at me. I don't think he even noticed. He even noticed my presence. He was looking at the ball and the bowler, nothing else. And it's very easy to say, but unless you see what kind of concentration that was, it's very difficult to understand. That a man could be so intense.
I will tell you a story on this because he mentioned the word intense.
Yeah.
I don't think I shared this story with anyone. So the Pakistan match 1999, 136 in Chennai, which India lost by 12 runs, one of Sachin's best hundreds. The only time he did not come to receive his man of the match award, he was crying. So he was in acute pain. I mean agony. Okay, he couldn't stand up. He was cramping up. I mean pain of a different nature. So he said, what do I do? Because so every time I was playing the ball, okay, I was focused on the ball. But the moment I played the ball, the pain is coming back. So how do I negotiate that pain? So the few seconds between ball 1 to ball 2, what do I do? Ball 2 to ball 3, I'm in real pain. I can't stand. So what he did? He said, I decided that I will just follow the ball. So I said, what do you mean? He said, so for example, the ball has gone to the wicketkeeper. Wicketkeeper first slip to second slip, and he was following the ball. So he would keep till the time the ball was bowled again. So the whole, and he was, so every second, he was actually following the ball. So he said, because I was doing that, right through the 5.5 hours that I was batting, I was able to withstand that pain. So mid-off throws it to the bowler. You pick up the ball. Then, so that's how he conducted himself in that. Maddening.
And Wasim Jafar had told me a story, this was just before his last test. That this was sometime in the story was sometime from the mid-90s or something. That the Bombay team was supposed to have net practice in the morning, say around 9:30 or something. Sachin, already a superstar, he had come back from New Zealand that morning at 4:30 a.m. And he was nobody, I mean, and still he turned up from the Bombay team's net practice. So that kind of dedication, I mean, nobody, I mean, a superstar not turning up at Bombay Nets, nobody cares. Nobody would have said anything.
He's the one person you wouldn't call a superstar. I remember. So he asked me to come for. I had given him the albums, and we lost. It was an India South Africa match, and he was in a very bad mood, and he could not come down and meet me. He just
One
said,
second. Let's get one of our colleagues, Umakanto. Can we have one of Priyanka's albums, please, on the show? When she says albums, I need to show you what she actually means. Okay, it's here. Don't worry, I'll take it. So we have to show you what she's talking about. So there you go. Now look at this. This is the size of an album.
That's just one.
That's one. There are 4. This is weight 10, 12, 13 kilos.
Maybe it is something back.
12, 13 kilos. So if you actually lift it like this is proper weightlifting happening. Huh? So at least 13, 14 kilos in weight. It has every published photograph, postcard, document, newspaper cutting ever that has been published on Sachin between 1992 and 2013.
Wow.
So this is Priyanka Modi's album, one of 4 that she has very kindly given it to us to exhibit at my museum, and her prized possession. This is why she drove me mad. She thought 2 pages were missing. Nothing is missing. I'm putting it on record. There were 222 messages and that many number of missed calls, because I was actually in Sachin's house that day. The day I went. Priyanka, my handbook. So that is Priyanka Modi. Your story, please.
yeah. So India South Africa. I was waiting at the Oberoi, and he didn't come down to see me. Just send the albums across, and I was furious. I was very, very angry. I know he was upset, and I'm very reactive by nature, as Boryada came on. So I was like, I did not call him the next time, but the next time came, and obviously I called him and I asked, can I come down and see you? And I went, and the first thing he told me is that I am very sorry for last time. It was mind-blowing. He was Sachin Tendulkar. He was God in India. He didn't need to apologize to me. He was meeting me was good enough. It was like a statement of everything, and him saying that I'm very sorry for last time that you came and I couldn't see you. I'm so sorry.
Amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what makes him what he is. Not just the runs and the
Exactly.
centuries scored.
It's not the amount of money he's made or the first billionaire of cricket or whatever. It is the way he conducts himself. It's the way he talks to his fans. It's the way he talks to people who can't do anything for him.
Even this,
And having done that for 23 years.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
it, that's
without a frown or a tantrum. I have never heard of Sachin Tendulkar having a tantrum. And he got all the right in the world to have that.
I'll give a similar story. It was in Delhi in 2017 or 16. There was an event and Sachin was there as a speaker, and there were no interviews lined up, no tic tacs. There were journalists who wanted to take a photo with him and did. And I carried a small black and white photo of that young Sachin Tendulkar, curly hair, holding his bat. And he saw the photo and he I don't know what he was thinking, but he watched it, he saw it for 5-10 seconds and had a small good smile on his face, and he signed that copy to me. And he said, thank you for it. I still don't know why he said thank you for bringing that photo to him, but I guess it must have relished some of the old memories of Sachin Tendulkar.
That is what I mean. To be able to remain so humble for endless number of days, and he was, as I said earlier, that if everybody hounds him for photographs and photographs.
Right.
To still be able to say thank you to an unknown person
Right.
is something which made him so special.
I remember Arjun had got his first 100 local. I was sitting in his house in the first floor. There's a kind of a very small kind of music kind of room where we used to record automatic work. When Arjun came from downstairs, they called Sachin and said Arjun is there. He scored 100. First thing he looked at me and said, "Don't say too much. Sample much." I said, "It's for the first 100." I said, "Yeah, but he has to score many more. Telling you, don't just overreact, okay?" And I was, everything in that house is understated. Like, okay, you scored 100, well done. Go have your cup of tea. I mean, the whole house is like that. What Arthur just, it's about values. It's about culture. It's about decency. It's about dignity. Have you seen Anjali? How many times have you seen Anjali Tendulkar jump and
I guess this was the first time she came on public and wrote something about Sachin.
I kept telling her, do something, write something. No. Hello, 50th birthday. It's not coming back. I don't know if I'm going to alive when he's 75, I'll be 72. Who knows? Please write. For whatever reason, she and I share a really good friendship. She said, yes, I'll write. And it's a beautiful piece. It again talks about values, the piece. She and Ajit. I mean, Ajit is mad. Ajit, the night of Sachin's retirement, he and I were together all through that test match. And he goes to Sachin without even saying, congratulations, retirement. That shot is wrong, you shouldn't have played this. And Sachin also was looking at him, what is he saying? So Sachin looked at him for about 2 minutes and he was going on. He said, my career is over. You should not play anymore. He said, no, next inning. He said, no, next innings. It's not coming. Done. So that's when Ajit perhaps realized that it's going to be. So that's how they are. That is how they are as a family.
And that photograph of Sachin touching the pitch, that says a lot about his characters, the values which we are talking about. And I guess, and one of the most iconic cricket photographs, sports photographs in India. And worldwide as well, I think that is one of the most celebrated photographs and memories from Sachin.
I don't think anyone's ever got that kind of a send off or a farewell like that. I don't think so. I mean, India came to a halt. I remember India, everybody could only talk about Sachin Tendulkar's last game.
Everybody has a
Right.
Come on, let's face it. Today, for example, it's all about Tendulkar. 50th birthday, you see a paper, full page. See our platform all day. I mean, the whole country is talking about a bit of a cult. Television channels, multiple shows. It's somebody's birthday, for God's sake, and he's going and having tea. So,
I was at the wrestler protest.
10 years after retirement.
10 years
10 years
after
after retirement. That is the point.
And you look at all the fan videos which he celebrated with his super fans, and the humility watching those Desert Storm matches with all the fans, that says a lot about Sachin Tendulkar and why he values his fans so much.
we've got about 7 minutes for Arthur to sort of, take a break because Arthur is also doing our game tonight. So one final story, Arthur, anything? Or how do you sort of locate Sachin Tendulkar? Favorite knock, says
So I was just going to ask that.
Sachin is
This is a real tough one. I would
And
say
should be, as Arthur thinks, get
Without
something
any
special ready so that when the changeover happens, we can give our viewers something really special. You don't even need to tell me, we'll ask you for a video, give that. Yes, Arthur.
I think it will be Sydney, that double century in Australia where against Australia where he did not play a cover drive. He told himself that I will not cover drive, come what may. And he did not, and scored 241. So that will probably be anyway, it's a very difficult question. You are put in a spot. But I go for that.
That knock, Ajit told him that that's why he didn't play that cover drive. Ajit told him the bowlers are not getting you out, you are getting yourself out. You can't play that shot. So I won't play that shot. So I say that I won't play that shot. 10 hours and 30. Brad Williams would come and sledge him, ask him whenever you meet him. Brad Williams would come and sort of say, I can't hit that shot, etc. He said, you are testing me. Now I will see at the end of 10 hours where you are. So that's how Sachin is, okay? And when he went to the dressing room, Deep Das Gupta came and gave him a glass of water. And he said to Deep, did you see, what did you observe? So he said, what? He said, I actually did not play a single cover drive. Is that okay? So I have to tell her.
That wagon wheel is very,
By the way, first day he was not out at whatever number. They went to an Oriental restaurant and he took Zahid Khan and 2-3 others, whoever they were. I don't know who all went with him. I don't remember. Maybe Bhaju and some people went with him. Virendra Sehwag absolutely went with him. So they sat in a particular place. Next day he was not out of 100, so he went and said, "Can we go to that Oriental restaurant?" So they're like, "Haan, theek hai, usko acha laga." And he goes and he says, "No, I have to sit in that particular
That place.
So the restaurant owner thought he must have loved their cuisine. To hell with their cuisine. We want that place and just go check what we had ordered last night. Same. Third day, exact same because he was not on it. So that is such a great one.
Wow.
Muria, tell me something. I mean, we have heard that he's a mischievous guy. I mean, beyond the public player, he's a mischievous guy.
Hugely. 2 years back, Bharat Ratna, he and his friends went to Mussoorie for a holiday, for a break. Atul Ranade went to sleep. Atul Ranade is one of Sachin's best friends. He was sleeping. This fellow went and put Amrutanjan here. So that when he woke up, his eyes started going, what happened? He said, "Kya ho gaya tere ko? Aaja mere saath aaja." So he went and took him like this. Instead of putting water, he took paste and put paste over Amrutanjan. And he started laughing. So that's how he is. He went to Sahitya Seva's colony some time back and looked idhar, picked up a bat and a stone and broke a window. He said, "जब छोटा था, सर अभी तो छोटा नहीं है, तो सचिन तेंदुलकर है." So he is like that, and he would.
I love that story where they flooded Saurabh Ganguly's room
Oh,
during
that
the
is such a-
Saurabh said my briefcase was floating.
Virendra Sehwag and Sachin Tendulkar are in the loop. Saurabh is captain. So Sachin is telling you, Saurabh आएगा, मैं जो बोलूँगा तू हाँ करते रहना. हाँ पाँच. Saurabh comes to the loop. Says, Viru. They were both Adidas brand or whatever ambassadors. So he said, "Viru, I'm telling you, I get Adidas clothing from Germany. मैं तेरे लिए भी वही बना के दूंगा. इंडिया में जो प्रोड्यूस होता है वो अच्छा नहीं है. ये किसी को बोलना नहीं. दादा को तो हरगिज़ मत बोलना. They know that. So next to the Adidas CEO goes, "What have you done? Whatever." The Indian captain is calling and saying he will no longer endorse. I am giving him Indian clothing and I am giving the German clothing.
And there's a story where they printed a fake newspaper.
Yes.
To
Oh, yeah, that
It was great.
It's
So Saurabh,
That's my birthday.
oh, so
a sack,
so
some sack or something.
so
Yeah.
that you've abused this player,
Yeah.
and all of them in stone face. So Saurabh enters the room, we won't play. Yes, the paper you have sent this. So, do I have it? Of course you have. The paper is printed. We are not playing under you. You probably Saurabh is on the verge of tears. What have you said?
said anything.
This when Sachin laughed and the whole building was incredible.
So does Priyanka have that clip in her collection? Of that
I'm
fake
sure.
newspaper?
The newspaper clip. That is something which you need to connect. That is something.
That's fake news.
The fake news.
Yes, that was
But the
best.
most hilarious thing about Priyanka's collection is that Steve Buckner wanted to buy.
Give that story.
I will never forget.
So it was at Eden Gardens, again an India-Pakistan match, and my father's friend was a police, some high up, and I had been pestering him. I want to go. And then he took me to inside the jeep, and between the two dressing rooms, there's place. He told me, "Sit quietly, don't make a sound, and if anyone asks you, tell them I brought you here." So I'm sitting quietly, and one by one, the entire Pakistani team goes by, and the Indian team goes by, and I'm sitting quietly. And then Sachin came, and then I spoke to him and everything. And then Mr. Buckner came, and he saw me sitting there. I was instructed not to disturb anybody, so I did not disturb. I was sitting there with my albums, and Mr. Buckner saw my albums and he said, "What are these?" And then I showed them to him, and he was like, "Oh wow, this is incredible. He saw all of them, and he said, "How much would you sell them for?" And I said, I don't think there's enough money in the world that would make me.
Got an answer.
Steve Buckner buying Sachin Tendulkar albums after giving him out 25 times wrong. Headline. That's the headline. Akshay, final comments before we let you go, and we take a quick break with another story that Shopee will put out for you, and we get Trisha Ghoshal onto the show. Why did she do pranam? Is the first question that I'm going to ask her. Trisha, but before that, Akshay, final comments on Sachin's 50.
I will end with another left-hander story. This was in Ahmedabad, 2005, India-Sri Lanka Test match. A day before the match, Indians having net practice. I see two left-hand spinners moving. One is Murali Kartika. I'm unable to figure out who the other one is. That was him.
Short and
Beautiful, beautiful story. On that note, Akshay Mukhopadhyay, thank you very, very much for joining us for this Sachin Tendulkar special. Akshay will take leave because he has to do the match for us. We will take a quick break for the turnaround as you watch something very special being put out by our producer, Trisha Ghoshal joins us. Thank you very much, Akshay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appeal, we have something to say.
Start. Brilliant.
So we are back after the break. There goes Trisha Ghoshal with her program.
So I think, I used to hear it from my dad a lot that see his dedication, see the way he handles pressure and all. And somehow he became this, I was in a convent school and we would have all these prayers and all. So I never understood as a kid, whom am I praying to? So then I find this figure who is human but isn't human. That is the definition that, at least that's what I understood as a kid. And then I told my father that I need a poster, and he said, sure. We got a poster, I put it up on one side, of course, because I have a sibling, I have an elder sister. When you have an elder sister, only one side is yours, of the cupboard. So that side, I had Sachin Tendulkar. And I thought, this is whom I pray to. So I have prayed to him so that my sister gets the college she wants to go to. I have prayed to him so that, so when I was playing cricket, I got injured. And it was very difficult to get back. I had an ankle injury, it was treated wrongly and all that. And I used to pray to him every day, you know what, I want to get back. So this happened, and as a kid I thought, when I'm going for exams, and of course I've not studied, to tell God, oh, you know what, God, I haven't helped myself, will you please do that?
But now you tell us, when you said this to Sachin, what happened?
Yes, so it was 15th December 2020, when 2021, when we were virtually interviewing Sachin Tendulkar for a different platform, and I met him and I was wearing a t-shirt which had Sachin numbers, which by the way I wanted to wear.
This for Dead Sports only for our Christmas session.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I was telling him that, how big a fan of his I am and all that. And then I said, you know what, even before going to exams, I used to pray to your poster and all that. And he was listening very carefully and he was smiling and nodding. And then when I told him about this exam, I could see, he was frowning a little. I was like, did I, in my over enthusiasm, did I tell something wrong? And he looks at me straight faced, alright, and says, but for education, why did you turn to us?
Oh boy.
That was like clean bold straight away, and I was like, oops.
Hilarious story,
And he was straight faced, and then he started laughing. So I was like, that's also a side to him that I had heard, that he's a prankster, but you actually get to,
So we were doing this program for RBS Bank, and we've got to take another break in about a minute because we've got to cut a cake for Sachin Tendulkar, and we will only have. So we are very clear about it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Sachin was giving my exam. I can have his cake.
100%. So there's no question. So let's so there was this program for this Royal Bank of Scotland. Sachin was a brand ambassador, and I was hosting it. So he was in a very one of these moods, funny, prime minister moods. So one guy is continuously putting his hand. So I've asked him a couple of questions. I mean, I've given him a couple of turns. Third time, I looked at Sachin. And to yes, Sachin, what did you think when you scored your first 100? So Sachin looks at me. Okay. What did you think? 99 more. I thought 99 more to follow. So the fellow did not stop. He said, oh, so then what did you think when you got your 100th 100? So Sachin is looking at me like, and we are both smiling to each other. I said, you know, when I scored my 100th 100, I thought I got 99 more. and you guys forgot about it. So that was the party line that I actually got 99 hundreds and you guys were behaving as if I got
Nothing.
So that was the killer line and we moved on. So Sachin, his sense of humor and wit. But for me, what stands out is understanding of the game.
Yeah.
What? We are watching a game together in his house and we're chatting. All of a sudden, we are Dusra. I said, what? He's Dusra. I said, how do you know? Commentators haven't said they've not shown us sort of close up, they've not shown a replay. He said, no, but you know, I said, what? Show, tell me. 10 seconds, I think Harsha was in commentary, somebody was in commentary. Said, and that was a beautiful Dusra. And I looked at him and said, no. That's it. For him, it's routine. For us, it's not routine. You know, one time he told me, he said, Alan Brown was bouncing me. And I realized they're actually coming at me. So I said, so what did you do? He said, what does a bouncer mean? So they were taking advantage of the fact that I was short, right? So I said, I should also take advantage of the fact that I am short. I said, what? He said, no, I just widened my stance, that all the bouncers will go over my head. So I will not even duck, I just widened my stance and stood there. So Sachin is extremely funny.
Oh.
Extremely
You
funny.
know, if you see any Sachin interview, I think that was the biggest takeaway. And that is actually the first definition of passion that I had in my life, you know. Whenever I hear his interview, even now, when he's explaining something, the other day I was seeing an old interview. He was talking about Vinod Kambli in the boundary line, you know, and there were girls behind Vinod Kambli. So Sachin was the captain, and Sachin went like, you need to move. But Vinod Kambli, of course, wasn't bothered. And he was basically gazing. And he missed a catch. And then his expression was so funny. But, you know, when he was explaining this whole thing, he also explained that how he was sure that the catch was going to go there.
Yeah, I mean, that is another thing about it. So Vinod Kambli, apparently one time when they were batting together, Vinod Kambli started flying a kite.
Yeah.
You heard that story?
Yeah.
Vinod Kambli was flying a kite. He told Vinod Kambli, don't do this, Upsetter sir will come and hit you. Yeah, no, kuch nahi karega sir. And he was flying a kite because whenever he was batting at the other end, he was flying a kite. So sir came and said, what's that? He used to like.
Another hilarious story which Virender Sehwag in some of the awards functions narrated. Pakistan Shoaib Akhtar was coming all out, all full throttle Shoaib Akhtar, and Virender Sehwag was not correcting, and he said, "You marna Shoaib Akhtar, you marna." Well, Sachin was बोला उसको जाके बोला opposite में बाप खड़ा है तेरा वो मारेगा तेरे. And Sachin slammed him for a six. And then Viru said, "बाप होता है."
And Viru was like, he was continuously saying this. Sachin was the other end. He said, ignore that. You ignore that. So he ignored that. So he called Shoaib and said, Baba, क्यों बोल रहा है? He said, what? He said, मारने के लिए बोल रहा है कि भीख मांग रहा है. So and Shoaib, literally, I watched Shoaib many times. He said, you know that 2003 match. He said, Buria, trust me, I was bowling 155 kills. I was fast. And
With that run.
I was fast. He said, I bowled that ball, he hit me over 6. I thought fluke. Lag gaya, took. I went and told Waka again. So I said, yes, full middle stop. I said, full middle stop, tap, hit 4. So he guessed my ways. He said, the third ball, I think was a perfect delivery. Forward defensive shot. He said, I just pick up. So I bent down to pick up, the ball was in the long on. And he stood up and he literally said, look, I called Wakar and I said, the world's best batsman is batting like the world's best batsman, my coach does. And that's how good he
When
is.
a peak Shoaib Akhtar says that, it means.
And he said, I called Wakar and I said, he's batting like my coach. The world's best batsman is batting like the world's
I
best
ate
batsman.
all my nails that day. Ate all my nails that day.
But I still don't know how Shahid Ajmal did get that LBW.
Let's not get into that. But okay, I'll tell you one more crazy thing. I have done a lot of crazy things like fans do, in general.
Part of life.
Yeah, in the phase where Sachin wasn't scoring runs and he was the captain. Honestly, I wasn't that big to understand too much of what is captaincy, what is happening. He was not scoring runs. But I knew Big Bubble or one of those Boomer, they were giving Sachin cards. So I had all the cards, and I had almost all the cards. I think 2 cards were missing. And we used to stay in Berhampur back then, and we were coming to Kolkata. It's a 5 hours train journey. And in the whole train, I have actually, because in my mind, I'm not the only one who's collecting the cards. And I thought it is something which people do. People collect Sachin Tendulkar cards. They have no other thing to do in life. So I have gone, and my parents have always, humored me. They're like, yeah, here you go. Yeah. So the entire train, I have walked and asked everyone, what, do you have the 2 cards? What, do you have the 2 cards? And some have laughed. Some have looked at me as if I'm an alien, a 6-year-old, and I wasn't this. I was actually a very thin child, as a child, in a pink frock going around on your face. Do you have these 2 cards? Do you have these 2 cards? And then 2 guys, called me and said, why are you collecting Sachin Tendulkar cards? He's done. His career is finished. And the next scene was a typical Bollywood movie scene. My dad holding me like this, and I'm going like, what did you just say?
This is what fan passion is. This is what fan passion is.
Let's have the cake.
Let's have the cake. So we put on something for you, which is another very special something. Also, we will show you.
It's a part of the documentary which we did, and the best part about this documentary was the almost 95 hours of Sachin's voice, him relating his, he was telling everything about cricket, about his personal life also, and out of that, choosing those 40 minutes, toughest thing to do,
And you should actually go to the Red Sports YouTube channel, the AGS Federal YouTube channel, and go and watch that, because it's an incredible piece. In the voice of the master, hearing about his life, interviews of the last 25 years of my career, which has sort of been parallel because I'm 3 years younger, so we're part of the same generation in that sense. So watch that docu. As we get the cake on, we'll play a clip. Also, we're going to show you the 2 books, the paperback edition and the hardback edition. Priyanka will ask you a question, Shubhan will ask you a question, and there are 2 books up for grabs. One signed by Sachin, the other signed by us, by me as the editor or the curator of the book. You can write into that email address that Trisha had provided. Over the next few days, our celebration of Sachin will continue for the next 4 or 5 days. Right this week, we are calling it the 50 week for Sachin Tendulkar. 50 for Sachin is our hashtag this week. 50 for Sachin is our hashtag, because I asked him, how is it that you're turning 50? And he said, this is the only 50 that I don't feel like. So every time I batted, I got 50.
But I don't think even when he was batting, he felt he was 50.
I will tell him that. So on that note, Shakil, can we have the clip as we get the cake ready?
When I got hit, I saw blood. Javed Mia was the only one in that big group said, "अरे तेरा तो नाक टूट गया, तो बिल्कुल ही hospital जाना पड़ेगा," and this and that. He said, and I was like, I was least bothered what he was telling me. And our doctor Vishwas Raut then came, and he carried ice and all that. So I applied ice and all that, wiped blood. And he said, "You want to go in? Let's go in, because can you see now? I said, my vision is slightly blurred, but I think it should be fine. I'll just take time here only. There was a shadow on the side screen, and in that I missed the ball. I missed the release, and off the wicket when I saw, I thought the ball would come almost to chin height. So I committed myself to play, and then I realized that the ball is not there, it's almost there. So he got maybe 6 inches of extra bounce, but it was at that height where I could not then go down, and I had to almost duck into it.
So there you go. Here's the cake brought by Priyanka Modi. Who else? And here are the two books: the paperback edition and the hardback edition of Sachin at 50 and its team. The entire team of 5 of us. I've got to give credit. Trisha Ghoshal worked on this book with me. Devashish Sen worked on this book with me. Kushan Sharkar and Aruni Basu worked on this book with me. Shubhayan and the rest of the team have been part of this project, because every single day we would discuss this in our studio. Once again, Sachin at 50 with contributions from everybody. Rohit Sharma, Sunil Gavaskar, Suresh Raina, Ajinkya Rahane, Ravichandran Ashwin, Saurabh Ganguly, the list goes on, David Warner. Among non-cricketers, Abhinav Bindra, Pullela Gopichand, Sania Mirza, it just goes on and on. Gulzar Saab, Farhan Akhtar. Pick it up because this is one of the best tributes. Look at the Hindu today, glowing review. Money Control, glowing review. Extracts across the country, also in Australia. This is your book. It's in the #1 bestseller list in India already. Yes, Tisha.
When you say contributor, a lot of people might think that what have they exactly done in the book? We haven't taken their interviews. They have actually written anecdotes, personally what they feel because they have met him. Some of his closest friends have written. Of course, his family. Anjali has written. Ajit Tendulkar has written. I think just to know the man better, you should read it. Forget about everything else.
See, funnily, Alan Sippy, some funny stories. Alan Sippy says first when he go to match, goes out to bat, keep here, 14, 15, 15-year-old, says, no. Bindas. What Bindas? He scores 100 and more time and then he comes Bindas. So this is Tendulkar. Chandrakant Pandit.
Yeah.
Because she saw an Insta में रमाकांत अक्षय का किसको भेज दिया है बैटिंग करने के लिए, इसको रन आउट कर देते हैं. So realized रन आउट कर देने का कोशिश करता है, उसी को रन आउट कर देते हैं. Chandrakant Pandit run out, Pendon scored. So personal stories. And as I said, Mr. Gavaskar wrote it, remember?
Yeah.
He was unwell. He said, no, but I said, Sanjay, we can write.
Correct.
I will write 1,500 words, Saurabh Ganguly wrote 2,200 words. He said, just float. That's the kind of passion this
In
man
fact,
has.
Jatin Puranjape had also tweeted that he wrote this in a few minutes.
No, because I'll be honest here, I haven't read a single chapter from this book because it has been hijacked by my mother.
Oh, okay.
She's currently reading it, and that's what Sachin Tendulkar is.
My
belongs to
Every generation.
Rishi Anand has said that. So I said what he said, Sachin and I were contemporaries, we were both sports people that dominated the Indian sports state at that point. He said, but there's a difference. I said, what do you mean? He said, I was Vishwanathan Anand. He was Sachin. So I said, he said he was every mother's son, every sister's brother. That's why he was India. And you've got to give it to this man. He was India.
Because whenever you meet any celebrity, you automatically tag a sir, or you don't call, you said Mr. So and so. With Sachin, it was always Sachin. Always. That was the only thing you could address him as.
So the hardback, the cover, this cover.
Next time you meet him, you
And
have
there's
to
a poster also.
Exactly. The cover is Sanatan Dinda, one of India's best painters. He's painted this for Sachin, specially for this book. And we've given the original canvas to Sachin for his birthday when I visited him. Shubhayan talked about the poster. There you go. Here's the poster. Every hardcover has this poster.
Beautiful.
Every hardcover has this poster which you can put up on your walls. So this is a collector's edition.
And you
Yeah.
can pray too before you go for exam.
Whether your prayers will be fulfilled or not, Trisha will not guarantee that. And then whether Sachin will ask that question or not, even none of us will guarantee that, not even Priya. So that's it. Gulzar Saab, I called Gulzar Saab and said, sir, can you write something? And he said, time? I was like, sir, the book is going to press day after. What time did they So then the next day he calls me and he said, Suno ye, in that voice. I'm like, and he said, and he says, मुझे गर्व है, कोहिनूर भी एक रतन है, मुझे गर्व है, हिंदुस्तान तुम्हारा रतन.
Oh.
Oh wow.
And you were like,
Oh wow.
you know, and I was like, sir, he said, मैं लिख दूँ. I said, क्या कह रहा है? So he wrote in Urdu, and this is his original handwriting. So I said, sir, मुझे तो उर्दू पढ़ना नहीं आता, he said, तुम्हारे लिए मैं हिंदी में लिख के भेज दूँगा. So I got that original paper from Gulzar Saab. We put it out, this couplet really sort of recited that for us on Red Sports. Trisha, you and Priyanka,
Yeah.
will be honest. Sure. Sachin, happy birthday, happy
Happy
tea time.
birthday, Sachin.
Yes, have your tea and some cake. Oh, now we have.
We have the cake, guys.
And both of you feed Shubhan for that bag.
Thankfully,
I
there are
think,
not
you know-
punches being thrown out this time.
So, when did I meet Priyanka first? Last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since then, I have become her fan because I used to think I'm one of those crazy people and I would hide from the rest because but she's crazy.
Thank you.
She's 100% crazy.
Yeah.
Just for those messages.
Happy birthday, master.
Just for those messages means what?
She uses the messages. Goriaka, where are my pages? Nothing is missing.
But Boria, one question, Sachin, like forever since you started playing.
May we request Umakanto to Umakanto, can we have the Sachin 100 gloves please on our show? Now this is
Yeah.
my proudest possession as a collector. I fancy on having one of the best museums in the country, and I do fancy, it's a matter of pride that I've got some very, very special artifacts, and this is one. I'm going to show you guys this. Sachin Tendulkar, 100 gloves. Here you go. It is autographed, 100 hundreds, 114 versus Bangladesh, 2 Boria, Sachin Tendulkar. This is his 100 gloves, signed to me that night, room 623 in Dhaka at the Solargao Hotel. So there you go. I will give it back because I just can't take a risk with this. But that's the kind of stuff we've got. We've got jerseys, pads, gloves, bats, and of course the 100 gloves. And Sunny Bhai asked for it.
Yeah.
Sachin said I promised for it.
Oh.
So the jersey went to Anjali, who was a 99 because she did not watch the 100. She was in Goa, and the gloves came to me.
But tell us a story about Don Bradman, and because Sachin and Don Bradman was associated.
100%. Shane Warne and Sachin Tendulkar were going to Sir Don Bradman's house in 1992. And Sir Donald at that point in time, past 80 and all that. So Sachin goes and says, so both when they were going, both were nervous, and Don Bradman was outside. And so these guys were like, you talk, you talk, okay. So they both go. So Sachin says, okay, Sir Don, if you batted today, what would be your average? So Sir Don said, something like 70 plus. So I said, why Sir Don? You had an average of 99.94. Why 70? Young man, do you think for a man of 80, 70 is And the moment he said it, they were
The broke eyes. Oh, lovely story, lovely story.
That's Sachin, Shane Warne, and Sir Don.
And Sir Don has always praised Sachin, always.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he would have loved to read this. And perhaps contributed.
Yes, perhaps.
Oh
my God.
That would have been a standalone
By the
single.
way, we've also got Sir Don Bradman's back in our collection
Yeah.
from the 1947-48 tour where he scored 300s against India. So it's not as if we've got his letters, we've got his bats, we've got multiple things of Sir Don Bradman. in our collection here.
But
And the
let's
points
clarify.
which Boreas are gifted to you.
Yeah, but let's clarify. None of these are for giveaways or the.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, questions.
Yeah.
Two giveaways, two questions, one Priyanka, one Tisha.
No, no,
I,
what?
I have a good question. So Sachin during his younger days had a long hair.
Yes.
He used to wear a headband.
Yes.
Following which sports person did he wear their hairband?
That's a very good
How do
question.
you, where do they answer?
To our email address, tag us on Twitter at @sports, or
Absolutely.
use the email address that we.
Yeah, or just simply tag our Twitter. No, Umakanta, before you, I would have answered, you know. I didn't because I know I'm not good at anything.
No, in-house answers.
No,
Yeah, hashtag no nepotism. But you guys can, of course, mail your answers, but I think more than mailing your answers, best would be just tweet the answer, tag hashtag Sachin at 50 and tag Red Sports and send it to us.
We'll put out that question on Twitter as well. And
Immediately you do that. And what is the second one? Go Priyanka.
Okay.
So two books, one paperback,
Two books.
and one hardback. Well, it's okay. I still have 2 copies, but it's okay. Trisha hasn't got it.
Yeah.
That's why she's giving
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
You cannot go home without a hard copy today. I will stay here then. So you decide.
Trisha, this is dangerous.
I'm just walking out of the door.
Shall we cancel the contest?
No, 2 paperbacks.
Okay, two
Because
Two paperbacks.
no, if Sachin fans actually get it, then they will also fight. No, who was the hardback?
Done.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, Sachin Tendulkar opened the innings in an ODI against New Zealand for the first time. It was on ODI. So I want to ask, who was the opening partner at the other end?
Good question.
Good question.
Again, Umakanto, you're not allowed to answer.
So I guess-
Well, you again, we will be putting both the questions. You can of course directly answer or quote tweet and answer. Just tag us and answer. We'll see.
Done. So you get 2 copies.
But it will be a lottery, so please don't start
Yeah.
trolling.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't have that. many.
Not that I care if you troll, but my point is don't.
And it's for master.
If you troll, then you will miss out the chance
Exactly.
to have this.
So Sachin at 50 celebrating a maestro, 2 copies of the book published today, celebrating Sachin Tendulkar's 50th birthday. You can get the 2 copies thanks to Simon & Schuster, our partners, thanks to Aegis Federal Life Insurance, our partners who have been, sort of generous enough to sponsor and support all of our programming on Sachin Tendulkar. With our producer, for the rest of the week, it's Sachin.
Absolutely it is. Can I say something about the book? See, you're not a Sachin Tendulkar fan, which is fine. Very a rarity, but maybe. But Sachin has given you enough reasons to celebrate. Why don't you give Sachin a little reason to celebrate, Because this is a tribute to him. This is made with a lot of love. And I hope you guys support it with that much love.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is no question. That's the whole idea. One of India's most loved icons turned 50 and the whole country. Because you know what? Each time when I was growing up, there was a terror strike. There was a political issue. There was insurgency. Multiple governments fell. There was turmoil in the country. There was Babri Masjid. There was a lot going on. And it would shake our faith in what we call India. And that is when I would look at the other side, little man 5'5", walking out to bat and saving a match, winning a match, batting against every adversity and telling us that this is also an India that inspires, an India that we can be proud of. And it's that man who turned 50. He is our idea of India at Red Sports. Thank you very, very much, Tisha Ghoshal, Shubhan Chakraborty, and Priyanka Modi, and to our entire team for sort of doing what they have for our Sachin programming today. Very proud of the entire team Red Sports. On behalf of everybody, happy birthday, Sachin.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sachin.